Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So I'm doing another Q&A video here, and this is my last one before the very final episode airs. I'll do another one next week, and we'll talk about just, I guess, the episode in general, and then focus on some stuff afterwards. I mean, we'll have watched it. We'll know if there's going to be a Rick Grimes post-credit scene. We'll talk about that and all of that. But for now, let's just get into this here. And then, yeah, this is the last Q&A here before The Walking Dead airs. So obviously, as always, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this. First question here, if you had to pick one episode from each season, what would it be? Could be most crucial or your favorite. Well, what episodes would you pick? Man, off the top of my head, honestly, that's a really hard question to answer. That would definitely be a really good video idea though, like talking about my favorite episode from each season, right? Like out of all 11 seasons. Off the top of my head though, you know, for season 1, I might have to go with Days Gone By. Season 2, I would have to think about that actually. But for season 4, I'd go with A for sure. Season 5, I would have to go with Four Walls and a Roof. With season 9, I'm going with Rick's last episode. And then, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That's all I can kind of think of right now. And yeah, Q&A, what was your favorite moment in The Walking Dead? Well, I would have to go with the scene in episode 16 of season 4, where Rick and the others are fighting the Claimers. I think that whole moment there, just what happens there, was probably the most intense moment. I do want to do a video talking about that because it's something that just like, it really is like the most human moment in the world. Just that intensity there. It's so many people's worst fears just to be in that moment there. And when the camera's focused on Rick, he literally has a gun to his head and he can't move. And everyone is like getting hurt around him and he can't do anything. And you see that internal struggle. And again, Andrew Lincoln really pulls it off. Like, he's such a great actor, but just the way it plays out there and then just how it just escalates so fast and you just understand his anger. Like, because of the stuff they set up beforehand, everything Rick does afterwards is just like totally fine. But it's funny though, because when he does rip Joe the Claimer's throat out, it's like, it's totally fine, but we're still shocked by that moment because we didn't think he would go that far. Like, we were angry because of the stuff that was happening and we knew that they were probably all going to die, but I didn't know he was going to literally become a zombie in that moment, right? Like, that was just, it was such a cool moment. Very, very shocking. And I don't know if The Walking Dead has had a moment since then. I remember when that happened. Like, I remember where I was when I watched that moment for the first time. I remember everyone's reaction when that first happened. Everyone was like, what happened? Like, it was so shocking. Q&A, why do you think the variant walkers have only just appeared in the show now after 11 seasons? Could the CRM be behind it in some way? No, I just think it's the showrunner and the writers and stuff really wanting to introduce new walkers and stuff. And because, you know, Scott Gimple is going in that direction here with the universe. And I think they want to start doing that just overall. So I think that was sort of their plan here with a lot of this here, was just to reintroduce some of this stuff here and just make everything sort of make sense, right? And this way it does make the walkers in season 1 make sense. It was just a different variant of walker. And there's different variants depending on the location that you're in, right? And I guess just, I know it's too coincidental because they just thought of it now, but that is just the explanation. Like, that's the reason why they're around now. It's because they literally just thought of a way to explain it now, right? So Q&A, how many new spinoffs do you think they're going to announce next year? And also, is there any chance of getting a season 2, I guess, for Tales? I've actually heard that there's another spinoff going to be announced soon or something like that. Or there is something happening. I read that in an article. I'll definitely do a video on that. I'll talk about that and I'll give more details then. But I read something like that, or at least I saw someone post something somewhere. I don't remember right now, but I'll definitely look into that a little bit more. So I don't know what that could be about, but that's interesting. In terms of how many new spinoffs, again, they could announce maybe one more or something next year, but I don't know if they're going to too much. I think they might want to focus on the shows that they have next year, and then getting those shows to be successful and then renewing them all for season 2, right? Q&A, do you predict there being a lot of spoilers for Dead City since it's being filmed in New York? And there have been already some videos spreading on social media. Well, they're already done filming for Dead City, and there hasn't been a lot that's come out. We just sort of see stuff of them filming in this location here and there. And I've seen people just like sort of post stuff, but luckily, there's been no spoilers at all. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Q&A, would you ever be up to doing a Walking Dead season tier list? Yeah, I definitely would like to do that. Again, a lot of top 10s, a lot of ranking videos and stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot in December. especially towards the end of December there, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to do in terms of that, right? Because it's literally like, that's where everyone does their top 10 videos and stuff. It's like the second half of December or whatever, celebrating The Walking Dead and all the content that we got here in 2022. I think it'd be a lot of fun, just doing a lot of top 10s and stuff. And then, yeah, we'll go into 2023. And I will say, you know, for this year, although I guess there was Fear the Walking Dead, but, you know, I want to do my top 10, like, worst Walking Dead universe episodes that have come out this year. And honestly, I mean, there usually isn't a lot of Walking Dead content on there, but this year there's not a lot. But I guess there is Tales and there is Fear the Walking Dead, so that it would probably honestly have a lot of that on there. But I'm really excited for that, especially for like the best episodes. Honestly, I have to go back and look at a lot of them, but I really wonder where I would put certain episodes. Would an episode of Tales of the Walking Dead end up on my top 10 best list, right? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to start getting into those like top 10 videos, ranking videos and stuff. If Rick ever came back, how do you think he would react to people like Tara, who he had been with since season 4, Jesus, Enid, Sadiq, Rosita, or possibly Gabriel all being dead? Yeah, that definitely would be something that would be pretty shocking, I think. Maybe he already knows though. I don't know. Like, I don't know the whole situation there, so it's hard to say. But I like his reaction to it. Definitely, he would be super upset about it, right? Because maybe he could have been there to help out, right? That's probably the first thing that's going to come to his mind. Q&A, do you think Rick could have suffered some sort of brain injury due to the explosion at the bridge? I mean, probably realistically, he probably should have, but I think on the show they're not going to do that, right? Q&A, do you think they want us to think Jerry is dead? I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, the thing is, I think they want us to think a lot of things. Like, I remember in season 9 going into the fair episode, like, they were largely hinting at Ezekiel's death and Rosita's death. They were putting so much stuff there to really throw us off. And then when the Whisper Pike moment happened, it was none of them, like literally none of them. So yeah, I would have to say, I mean, maybe they want us to think Jerry's dead, but I feel like also right now they want us to think that Judith is going to die as well, right? So it's kind of like that with a lot of characters. Like, they just kind of want you to feel a lot of certain ways and then be thrown this way when this character is the one to die kind of thing, right? They want this last episode to be crazy, right? So Q&A, what is your favorite part of the least favorite season and your least favorite part of your favorite season? See, that's also a really good video idea right there. Like, that's honestly, that'd be such a cool thing here. But I guess just to answer it here, because you did ask it, my favorite part of my least favorite season, I would probably have to say, is season 7. So my favorite part in season 7, just off the top of my head, I'm not really thinking of it completely, would have to be, I guess, the premiere. I would have to think about this a lot more. It's actually kind of hard to think of what it would be, because I don't really like this season a lot. But it would have to be probably the premiere, and there would have to be some sort of moment in there. But that's the feeling that I'm getting right now. And my least favorite part of my favorite season so far, I would have to say, is probably season 9 of The Walking Dead. And in terms of, I guess, what my least favorite part would be there, man, see, that's what's sort of hard about this question, is that I really like a lot of aspects to it. I guess there were certain moments I'm okay with that though. Although I have to pick my least favorite moments, right? Not like, yeah, so I guess I'd probably have to go with that. It was a lot of when Magna's group was introduced, and I think that's where we learned that Luke was like a musician and stuff. There was some stuff there. I think it might have been episode 7. It was around there. I think that part there was, out of everything, was probably my least favorite. I still really liked all of it because we're meeting new characters and it was doing a lot of world building and character stuff. But yeah, if I had to pick the least favorite part about my favorite season, I'd probably have to go with that. Do you think Herschel will eventually kill Negan for what he did to Glenn, or end up showing him mercy? I think the most predictable answer would be that he would end up showing him mercy. I think it would be smart if he didn't, and one day Herschel was the one that actually killed Negan, right? Like, maybe it happens way, way far in the future, like years down the road. But I think it would be really crazy if that's actually what happened there, right? Because it's so predictable that, like, oh yeah, he's just going to forgive him, right? Or just show him mercy or whatever. But like, what if that doesn't happen? Like, what if it actually doesn't? What if Herschel just can't get over it, right? I think the post-credit scene with Rick is going to be similar to the Hopper in Russia post-credit scene from season 3 of Stranger Things. Thoughts? Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I predict it to be something like that as well. I think it could play out similarly. Like, it's just going to be something where Rick is just, we're going to see him for sure, but it's going to be a short scene. The post-credit scene is probably going to be a minute to a minute and a half, right? I mean, I guess technically that's a lot. Like, we haven't seen Rick in over 4 years now, right? Or about 4 years. So anything with him is going to be exciting. But yeah, like, I see what you mean there, though. I could see that. I could see it being similar in that way. Q&A, do you think it's possible that we see Virgil in any of the spinoff shows? Or do you think that his purpose is done and will be forgotten? I think he's just going to be a forgotten character now. I just don't see the point in reintroducing him. You didn't do anything with the character. I think it's a huge missed opportunity. Everyone loved Virgil on this show. He was actually a pretty great character. And I remember saying that, like, it was kind of sad when Michonne left because you're just losing these really awesome characters, right? You're losing characters that are just, that was right after we lost Rick as well. So it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, we need more characters that are going to be fan favorites and stuff. And so we had Connie come on, which was awesome. You know, Luke, I would say, was also sort of a fan favorite as well, but they just never gave him a lot to do. But besides that, there hasn't really been a lot. But Virgil was one of those characters where, you know, over time, he did start to, you know, become people's, I wouldn't say fan favorite, but people started to really like him a lot, especially, you know, in that Connie episode. But yeah, after that, that was basically it, though. He didn't show up anymore. So I guess the intention for that character was never really anything. I guess he was just introduced mostly to give Michonne her exit, because, like, I'm trying to think of what they did with Virgil since then, and it really hasn't been a lot. Like, really nothing has happened. Virgil was with Michonne. Virgil was literally introduced because, you know, Michonne was leaving or whatever. And then Virgil left and he went back to Oceanside, I guess. Or it seemed like he was going back to Oceanside, but never did. Ended up with Connie. And then when they got back to Alexandria, he just disappeared. Like, it's just such a weird storyline. Q&A, since the actor that played Carl in The Walking Dead was seen on set during the last episode, do you think we have a chance to see a flashback of Carl or a vision similar to when Rick saw Shane and Herschel in his last episode? I think it's actually very possible that they could do that, because I never saw that coming with Rick's last episode, seeing Shane come back, especially. You know, we had Sasha back and then Herschel as well that came back. I was very shocked by that, and so I could see that being the case. But then again, like, a lot of people, because it is the last day, and again, like, if this was a random episode, then yeah, I would think, okay, that's really weird that they're on set. Maybe they're doing something with directing or whatever. But it's the last one, so it's like, maybe they were there for something like that, but it's hard to say because they could have just been there to say goodbye as well, right? Q&A, if Morgan never left the show and stayed through season 9, do you think he would have taken up the role of the main character once Rick left? I think Morgan would have been the perfect character to be the lead once Rick left. And I think that was something that definitely wasn't handled properly, but obviously they wanted Morgan to go to Fear. But man, if Morgan stayed on The Walking Dead, once Rick left, Morgan's literally the perfect character to give a lead role to. Imagine just what that story would be like. Imagine the Whisperer arc and the Commonwealth arc with Morgan as the lead. It would just feel a lot more like The Walking Dead. I miss Morgan on The Walking Dead, to be honest. I really do. Like, I miss that character. Q&A, do you think the final episode will be one of your favorite Walking Dead episodes? Well, I hope so. I don't think it's going to be, though. Just because, like, you don't have Rick back and stuff like that. I think Rick will be there for a post-credit scene. And honestly, a lot of my favorite episodes need to have Rick in them. And, you know, he's not going to be there. There's no way. And even if he shows up at the end somehow, I just don't, again, if he shows up at the end, it's just going to be a post-credit scene. There's no way you can really connect a lot of that to the current story here. So, to me personally, I don't think it's going to be one of my favorite episodes ever. I think it's going to be a really great episode, the best one of season 11. And maybe of season 10, but like, it's not going to be one of my favorites for sure. Q&A, if it was your choice, how many big characters / main characters would you want to go in this finale? Well, based off of the characters we have right now and just stuff going on, I would probably go with like two main characters and like 2 side characters, to be honest. And maybe I would choose like Aaron and Rosita or Gabriel and Eugene. I mean, honestly, I don't really have any characters in mind specifically, so I can't really say who I would actually choose. But I would go with like 2 characters. And then, you know, in terms of side characters, I would definitely just choose 2 more side characters, because then it just seems like a really crazy episode, right? Do you think we'll see one of the fast variant zombies in the finale? No, definitely not. That's going to be saved for the Daryl show. We're not going to be seeing that. Which is, by the way, that's actually kind of crazy. Like, we've been hearing about a bunch of stuff regarding the Daryl spinoff, but like, we're actually going to be seeing the fast variant walkers there. Or I guess I shouldn't be saying walkers, but zombies there. I'm definitely very excited. That show's going to be a lot of fun. Q&A, would you agree that Rick's last lines in The Walking Dead season 11, episode 24 should be, I found them in the post-credit scene. No, because he's not going to find them. I don't see that. Like, I don't even think he's going to be speaking in the post-credit scene, to be honest. I don't think we're going to be really getting anything there with that. Q&A, do you think that Maggie and Negan go to New York as a plan to discover more of the CRM because they know that Rick is captured by them? And Negan goes because it is the last thing he can do to fully redeem himself. Well, I think the CRM aspect to it could be possible, but it just depends on what we learn here. Really, like, we need to learn a lot more here in this last episode. And in terms of Negan going because it's his last chance to redeem himself, I don't think he really cares to be honest. He cares to in the eyes of like his child and stuff, but other than that, I don't think he really cares that much. And the last question here, how long do you think Rick was in a coma or sleeping for because of getting impaled? Well, I'm gonna say, I don't know. Honestly, it could have been a month. It could be quite a while. I don't know. Maybe in the post-credit scene there'll be a sort of a tease at that, right? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post our thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.